Then, so we decided that we would go through, use the same model for the youth. This year, they requested, but I turned them down.
Okay.
For one reason. We've done it for 4 years. So I told the youth director, let us evaluate
ourselves first.
What I mean, are they doing? What are the people that
the progress? Yes.
Saying? What are they doing? Where are they? How many of them
actually
are still
benefiting
and they have the idea of doing their own business or something like that?
Yes.
And then when we get the feedback, it helps us to decide what direction we really want to go.
Right.
So this year they wrote to us, but I turned it down.
Until you get feedback from
and I said,
it's nice.
It wasn't only you. I'm not waiting for feedback from you. You do something and let's meet together and think through and see what people are saying, and what are they benefiting, and if that will help us to reshape the way we deliver the entrepreneurship education and so on. Generally, even for last year, in 2014, 2015, thereabout, we wanted to address the youth development program. So we decided to offer entrepreneurship training to the national service personnel.
Okay. Not to the youth, but the public officers in national.
Yeah, these are, the national service people are people who have finished University or Polytechnics.
I see, the National Service of Ghana, I see.
And then you have to do 1 year.
Right, exactly.
National service for
in order to, yes, right.
And most times, when they finish, they come and it's like, they are now thinking of what to do. Waiting for government to employ them and so on. So, we decided that, at that time we had a Fulbright scholar. Yeah, but even though he didn't really make the trip, but he helped us in designing the whole program. But I had attended the Winchiwa. I was the director, but I said no, I'll be a student.
Right.
So I had actually gone through events myself. So we said, let us get the national service in one region. Because the Reverend Francis was at Winchi, it was easy for us to organize around the Hafu people, and then we did that. And that we didn't have enough resources, so that we did for 3 days, and it was good. The chiefs were there, the MP.
Was it Grown Hafu?
Yeah, Grown Hafu. The MP. No, we did it in Doma. There's another town, Doma.
Okay.
That is where the Minister of Health now, the current Minister of Health.
I see.
That is where he comes from. Yes.
Okay.
So he came there and was happy really to see us there and so on. That was when we realized that we should send a proposal to the National Service Secretariat. So we could offer such training.
Consistently.
Exactly. If out of 90,000 people, now maybe 100,000 people who finish national service, if even 10% of them, can be trained, it will be useful. And we were actually focusing on, as we offer the training, we observe those who are smart, and then we can just pick them as a train of trainers. And we take them through extra training for them to be able to help us in delivering training across the regions and so on. We send a proposal and somehow, this money issue. When Professor Kim. Yes. When he came, before even they came, he sent a proposal because he just thought that some either the government or the UNDP or whatever could also help. But somehow, and when they came, we had a meeting on that, but so they haven't responded. So, but we thought that what we have learned over the years, if we are able to, if the government should see, they should see the Methodist University at the forefront of leading in entrepreneurship training. After all, we host the West African Global Center for Entrepreneurship Training for West Africa. So that's what we really wanted to do.
And the center is now in Accra, in this university?
Yes. So, what really shows, and I think we should be more visible. So, so that is a major bottleneck now. These things should naturally be taken by the government themselves, to some extent, And when you ask people to pay something, then the numbers also drop. And and sometimes when people don't pay anything, they are not also serious, because you want to see some level of commitment to this. So that is one thing outstanding, which we really desire to do, but we don't have the resources. But we felt that having wandered with the Hamburg Global University, and having gone through this unit training thing and so on, the demonstration of our capacity as a university in leading the training of entrepreneurship in Ghana would leave a mark, not only for us, but those who, out of the goodwill, offered us the opportunity to learn how to do it. So these are the things. I decided to just take, we got some few things. I think what you've seen, normally when they come, that's what we do, the global
entrepreneurship training.
And then there's the...
Oh, you have the book?
Yes.
Nice. I was actually looking for this kind of material, yes.
Okay, then I can
have a copy?
Yes, sure. All the 2 copies you can have, and this is the...
Wow, yes, this was exactly what I was looking for.
And then...
Yes.
So...
Very nice. Thank you very much, Professor, for sharing your experience and lessons.
But I have some other concerns. Maybe this should have been an internal something, but I think it's important that we know. We believe in structure. Human as we are, anytime that there is a change, there is some resistance here and there. So when the company moved from Wenchi to this place, Wenchi people didn't like it. But I didn't make the decision. It was the decision of the management at that time.
Just one question before we go on. So there is a Wenchi campus as well as the Dansoman campus here.
And Tema campus.
In Tema. And which is the headquarters? Is it in Accra? But the project itself started in Wenchi instead of Dansoman, which is interesting.
Yes, it started in Wenchi. That's the idea.
And why did it start that way? Because it is natural for everyone to start where the headquarters is located.
But people discover things differently. So I think that either Reverend Francis or another person just discovered that there was something going on between Handong and because they didn't start from here. They've gone to other places before. And I think the last one, when people come from outside, it was a traveling. Because you see, if the local thing, as we did, we went to Brongahaf, where we chased and organized there. But when it's for West Africa, people come from Togo.
So Accra is naturally a better
choice. Travel long distances to reach. It's not. So that is the main reason why.
In order for you to operate a center and everything.
That is one. But also, beyond ourselves, those who are coming from West African countries, Cameroon, Nigeria, and that sort of thing, don't expose them to this long journey. So that was the decision. But it got to a point that I wasn't too sure that Kim, George Kim.
Yes, George Kim, yes.
I know as a university professor, you should understand that you have to also use the structures. A lot of the things I don't get to know. If I have to hear something, it's very hard to tell me on the directly.
So they didn't communicate to you directly, but they communicated to Reverend Francis.
Yes, exactly.
Although you are the one in charge in the headquarters.
So this is something normally somebody will say, but I think it's important if you are evaluating that the structure should be respected. If he is my assistant or assisting me or coordinating whatever, when I get it, I send it. I don't take responsibility from him, and like I so what he wants, I hear. What he doesn't want me to hear, I don't hear. Yes, but it may not be with any ill intention, but
still you could have been more efficient.
The structure, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So my first reaction was, okay, fine, when I heard anything, was but I mean, everything, you got to hear issues first before I get to know.
Yes, and for myself, yes, and for myself, the contact point I got was for the Reverend Francis, not you. And I was surprised because it was located in Wenchi and in Accra.
That really confirms what I'm telling you. That really confirms what I'm telling you. So that is the thing. But I think that it's a good program. And I wish it could really continue and be more open.
Yes.
Why am I saying it's a good program? That we have picked a model, because normally our model is that you come and learn 3 days and do. Come and do. So, but when it's residential, you're compelled to think. Ideas don't come easily. So, and the whole program, the first day, making lives, and then the entrepreneurial mindset, which is the key thing. And I've told my people that entrepreneurship is not business. It's here. We want you to think like an entrepreneur. So, whether you are doing religion, or whether you are doing geography, or history, or law, there are opportunities that you can recognize in your professional environment. And that is the kind of training that we desire you to have. And for me, if there is anything that we have gained, is these two things. That our mindset should change, and two, there is the entrepreneurial spirit which we need to cultivate. So that is what I find.
Thank you very much, Professor, once again for sharing your lessons learned and all the experience and expertise you got. I'm very happy to hear that this didn't end as a one-time project, but it gave inspiration and follow-up projects to all the other areas in the university and other churches as well, which I really think is encouraging and meaningful.
Exactly.
And I understood that this was like a 1-week training module, and I didn't learn until today that it could be emancipated, it could be spread to other training courses and programs all over the country. So I'm very happy to hear your experience.
And here at the university, it's a university required course. They do it in the second year.
Second year, the entrepreneurship.
Yes.
But they don't use this module there, right? It's just an entrepreneurship course.
Yes, but you see, I teach entrepreneurship at the MBA. I teach entrepreneurial management at the MBA. My notes, I pick ideas from this.
So, how do you evaluate the role of your Korean counterparts in your project? Did they do any good rather than organizing the program for 1 week and like having specific modules for like lectures or discussions, but did they do anything else that could add up to the content of the program? Or?
Maybe it's good at yes. Excuse me. It's good that you raise this. If you open the book, you know, I think it's a book that they prepare for everywhere.
Right.
You know, that they go.
It says it's written by George Kim, but
yes, exactly.
I don't really have an impression that should this be something Korean. I mean, I don't really see a distinctive Korean feature in the course. And would anyone know that this is a project by Korean government? I am doubtful.
Well, they bring these things to us.
Right.
But the ones that we do, we prepare our own. We just bind them.
Right.
But we pick some of the information with their permission. We pick some information from this and we add our own in the context that we, for example, we realize that feasibility analysis, for instance, is a major issue.
For starting
for here,
business in Ghana?
An idea, oh yes, idea, and people go. No. You must test the concept and make sure that it's viable. Now, what do you have to do? You have to do market survey, you have to do industry survey, you have to do a whole kind of things to assure yourself that, oh, this is a viable thing that we should do in our own context. Now, I'm raising this issue because in terms of capacity, the last time I taught, and this one we insisted about 2 years ago that we should actually have some of our people.
Yes, some Ghanaian context into the materials.
So that people don't see that, oh, you come and teach and you go.
I agree, yes. Because this is a project in Ghana.
Yes, exactly. So that there is not, they won't see us. We own it, and they own it as well. Yes. So this is the other bit. But as I said, when we are running the programs, we follow the same model, but we use some of the materials that we have. Yes, because many of the references and many of the contents, I mean, were good. For us, but it's a universal thing. When they go to Latin America, they use the same thing.
Yes, because it's UNESCO. Yes,
they use the same thing.
Yeah, I was just a little bit sorry not to see any Korean elements in the course or the project, but I guess because this was initiated by UNESCO, like one country-specific issues may not be like on the screen.
But I think their training material, there's Korean.
I see some Korean, the songs in Korean, the worship songs.
Are you ever heard the earlier ones? Earlier ones.
Services, religious.
Yeah, I think this is the English version, but I think the earlier ones, I remember I saw some other Korean content languages.
And one more question regarding the results of the program. Did you have any performance indicators that could prove that this was really meaningful and this yielded some productivity in the students? Because I learned that the students also had a chance to draft their imaginary venture businesses, and they had a chance to discuss it, make a presentation.
Oh yes.
Yes. And did they have any outcomes after that? Did you have any indicators for this kind of feedbacks or? Or is it just a good program that runs for 1 week and we hope
Yes.
that everything will be
Exactly. You see, what we do, let me go about it this way.
Sure.
At the end of the program, there's an outline which is actually drawn. We don't have any input in that.
Right.
It's administered by the professors from Korea to the participants, and then they fill and they take them and they say that the results are not shared with us.
I see. This is interesting.
So we reveal, but every time they take, I think I have a sample. Every time they administer these questionnaire and
They have the questionnaire so
Yes.
that they could have some kind of evaluation from it.
exactly, in fact, it's an evaluation and it's announced that you fill it and it's actually deposited and so forth.
But I think they should have shared it with
But we are not aware of the outcomes of those things.
So that's one good point I'll also have to raise. Because,
So
yes.
how they evaluated the programs of the year, I don't know. We have no idea.
And I feel kind of sorry that
So all that we hear is that Reverend will tell me that, they want to come. Can we confirm the dates? And I said, this thing should be part of our program.
Yes.
So that when we know their program, we fit it in.
Yes, we should have some prior consultations.
That kind of thing.
So maybe Reverend Francis had a chance to communicate and discuss beforehand with Korean counterparts, but you didn't have the chance.
No, well, maybe, but I have no idea. All that I know is that I haven't cited in any year any document that I'm on the evaluation of the because they do evaluation every time that they are here.
I see.
But I haven't really cited any one.
Right.
And there hasn't been discussion on the formal outcome of some of those evaluations.
But from your point of view, you think if we could do a follow-up or we could maybe go on with this kind of project, we could make it better by adding some Ghanaian context
Oh yes.
and some other suggestions you might have?
Yes. For example, when I teach, when we are doing entrepreneurial mindset and opportunity analysis, we get examples from Korea, Nissan.
Yes.
Sorry, is it Nissan? No.
Nissan is Japanese
Japan.
company, yes.
But
We have Hyundai.
Yes.
Hyundai, yes.
Hyundai
Kia.
and
Yes.
Kia and all those other
Yes.
things. Now, the harbor business, I mean the ships,
Yes.
and so on and so forth. And there's a lot of the phones. Samsung is
The cell phones, yes. Well, yes.
and the examples are given. Now, when I'm teaching, and they give only Korean examples, it's good. Sometimes the impression is given that the North
North Korea?
is bad.
Uh-huh.
Of course, we all know.
They also raised that